Let's talk about something, alright? So let's do this. Today I want to talk about Xbox Series X or Microsoft First Generation console. As always, I'm going to talk about the looks of the console itself, the features and the hardware inside of it, and of course the accessories, and in this case just the controllers, and the most important things, the games. So let's just jump into it. First, I want to talk about the looks of the console itself. Now, Xbox is doing the interesting thing with choosing the shape of the console. Now they're going with the kind of tower-looking kind of console, even though console usually don't really do that kind of stuff. They usually choose like a more compact shape, so you can put it wherever you are and don't take that much space. But I guess whatever Microsoft want. And also I want to talk about the color that they choose, which is black. Now they're going with different routes with Sony that choose white as their default console colors. That's a great thing, I guess, so the console doesn't get stains easily, because well, we all know white things get stains easily, so good job, I guess, Microsoft. And I want to point out also about the exhaust that they put on top of their console, making it even cooler rather than just a flat surface. So yeah, that's all, I guess. Now I really want to explain more about the looks of the console, but come on, let's just be real. That's it. That's the only thing that I can talk about the Microsoft consoles. Now I don't want to judge anything about it, but it looks cool, but there's no a lot of things to talk about, so let's just moving on. Next thing is I'm going to talk about the features and the hardware inside of it. First, let's talk about the features. Now Xbox X Series X is going to support 4K gaming and also 8K gaming with HDR. That of course going to make the games even looks better. Now 4K is in my opinion is already better, but in 8K I don't know what it's going to look like in 8K, so I just can't wait. Other than that, they also use 12 teraflops of power that is support by their processing power in their chip, aka AMD Zen 2 and RDNA 2, to result in the worlds that demands a closer look and a lot more detail in a lot of aspects in their console. So yeah, it's just making the games looks better and a lot more stable and don't like do like frame drop and texture error. That also will not affect the temperature of the console. I also forgot to mention that their new chip that it's going to support, of course, ray tracing like PlayStation 5, and the actual light that coming out of somewhere. It's pretty much a real life light coming out of everywhere. So yeah, cool, I guess. And then Microsoft said that Xbox Series X is engineered for speed, which means that the chip that is inside of the Xbox combined with the Xbox Velocity architecture put a speed architecture on your fingertips with the 1TB custom SSD, making it go from 0 to 60 FPS and up to 120 FPS. Well, it means that it's going to stabilize on 60 FPS and maximize it on 120 FPS. The next features is faster load time, because the custom SSD that Xbox Series made make it possible to load the games a lot faster rather than Xbox One X. Now let's take a look of the example. Okay, on the Xbox One X we have the left one, and the Xbox Series X we have the right one. Okay, Xbox Series X only took 4 until 5 seconds to load the game properly, rather than Xbox One X that took almost a good solid 1 minute to properly load the games. I know, crazy. Xbox add another neat features that allow you to change from one game to another game seamlessly. So let's say you're playing Forza Motorsport 7, but now you're feeling to play Ori, so you just press Ori and then you continue the game. And if you want to go back to Forza Motorsport 7, you just go back to where you left off and then you can play it again. I mean, it's neat. It is kind of the advantage that Microsoft have over PlayStation 5, but it's just neat to have this kind of feature, so great. The next feature that Xbox provide us is the 3D spatial sound, which is the next evolution in audio technology that use advanced algorithms to create immersive lifelike worlds that put you at the center of your gaming experience. So what am I getting at from the picture and the video and stuff is that the sounds that coming out of your console will bounce out around object around you and will bounce it out into your ear, that giving the experience of the game. Another useful features that they provide us is the 1 TB expansion card that you can buy separately. Now, companies like Sony and Microsoft, the one that who make console, already knew about this kind of problem, because we all know games is getting bigger and bigger, so this kind of thing is very understandable. Now, the way you use this expansion card is just by simply plug the card in the back of your Xbox Series X. I know, pretty simple and pretty useful for me, so let's move on. The last features, and I think the most important features that they provide us, is the backwards compatibility with all Xbox Series game. So you basically can play all games that you have from the original Xbox, Xbox 360 and Xbox One that you can put inside of it, and you can play it with faster load times and higher resolution, a lot more stable frame rates, and better input latency on thousands of the games that they provide you. Great, because it means that if you have old Xbox game CDs lying around, so you can just pop that disc inside the console and play it. Great, rather than just become a display and getting dusted. It's better like that. So let's just moving on. Now we're done with the features. Let's get to the hardware. Now, the hardware of the Xbox Series X is designed from inside out. Well, which means that the design of Xbox Series X is the result of combining hardware and also software with the innovation with the intentional engineering to achieve the zenith of speed and performance. The point is, so if you're looking for console that have speed and performance and balance between them, this is very perfect for you. And to be honest, if you're just looking for play game and in a really good graphic, this console is enough for you. Now, the first thing about hardware and the most important stuff about electronics is of course the airflow. Now, with the architecture of the Xbox shape, making it possible to have 3 airflow channels that coming off the bottom and go on top of the console. Now, this is the reason why they put the exhaust on top of their consoles. Now, this is very smart things, because now can evenly distribute the temperature generated that by the advanced internal components. Now, making the console even quiet and not sounds like a jet engine. Now, they also use splits motherboard that makes the temperature of the console can be controlled evenly all over the console, and on the motherboards that allow the console to add even higher power and output, that giving us the Xbox gamers player a lot better experience. Now, to also face with this temperature problem, they also use heatsink. If you guys don't know heatsink is pretty much a unique non-electronic component that merge parallel cooling with unique designs to increase the reliability of the performance of your console. Now, this thing I think will absorb all of the heat from the console and preventing it from going into your important hardware that runs the games for you and giving you better experience in the game. As I said about the airflow, now I want to talk a little bit about the fan. Now, the fan that they use is called Whisper Quiet Fan. This vertical airflow system that keeps the console running smoothly and again quietly and doesn't sound like a jet engine. Now, this fan is kind of different because now this is manufactured by Microsoft to again whisper quiet. Microsoft really take the temperature problem really seriously, because now they use a really good vapor chamber that is will spread the temperatures on the core evenly, so it doesn't get overheat and broke the console and yeah, that kind of stuff. Now, I really want to explain to you guys about the specs, but that's for me personally, that's not the thing about console in the first place. Console is more about the games and stuff. But if you guys want to see the specs, I'm going to show you guys. Okay, this is the specs. Now we're done with the console, let's get to the controller. Now, the controller itself more or less looks the same as Xbox One, but there's of course some stuff that is different, so I just want to talk about it. First, of course, the most visible one is the D-pad. Now, for the Xbox Series X, now they are using the D-pad that more or less the same as Xbox 360, but they make it a lot better. And things that is visible for me is the share button. Now, finally, Xbox. So the share button we already know, like in PlayStation 4, you can take a screenshot or connect it to your friends, play song from it without actually getting out of the game. Great. I mean, like this thing should have been done a couple years ago on Xbox One, but whatever. And you guys might not see this, but they also add the dot pattern on the bumper and trigger, so it doesn't matter if your hands is wet or dry, you can still play it and feels the trigger and the bumper. Like PlayStation 5, they also provide you, of course, with headphone jack, and they also use Type C port to charge your controller, or to be honest, just want to connect it to your console. And but there's something I want to talk about, and this is the most important things. They still use a freaking double A battery. 2020, come on, who the hell keeps double A battery around? Even though I'm pretty sure that they will release the rechargeable battery we want, but come on, it still sucks to have to stock up on double A battery. So if you want to play in Xbox Series X, you might want to buy the rechargeable one, or to be honest, just stack on a lot of double A battery like a weirdo, I guess. But okay, come on, let's just move on. Now the last thing that I want to talk about this console is, of course, the most important things about all consoles, the exclusive. As we all know, the exclusive that they have mentioned in a long time ago is the Halo Infinite. Now if you're a big fan of Halo franchise, this game is definitely for you. I've seen the gameplay a couple times now, and it looks cool for me. Now, me personally, I'm not an Xbox guy, or I'm more like a PlayStation guy, so I'm not really sure about Halo series itself. I don't really know much about that, but from the look of it, looks cool. They improved the graphic and the gameplay and stuff, and of course the loading screen. And Master Chief is coming back. Yep, Master Chief is coming back, baby. For you guys who miss Master Chief, this guy is coming back. Anyway, now this game more or less has the same gameplay as the Halo that you guys already know, but improve it a little bit and add some little bit features in it. Overall, this game looks great. The gameplay looks good. To be honest, I'm the one that would not a really Xbox fans myself. I really want to play this game, but sadly, this game is only on Xbox. So yeah. So if you're asking me if this game worth it, I'm going to say it 100% yes. If you're a really big fan of Halo itself, this game is perfect for you. I can't tell otherwise. So okay, the next game. The next game is called Medium. Now, the Medium itself, when I watch it from the trailer is that this game is of course a horror adventure kind of game, where you're living in two worlds, one in a real world and one in like a horror, super unnatural. And I guess there's of course some creepy creatures, and I'm not really sure about the story yet. But if you guys interested in some kinds of horror games and supernatural and supernatural stuff, this game is definitely for you. And this game of course looks great. From the gameplay itself, I see it looks great. Of course the Xbox Series X really improved this game. So I guess that's it. That's all I can say about it. So let's just move on. The next game is called Ascent. Now this Ascent is pretty much a solo third-person shooter kind of game that's set in a cyberpunk world that turn out into a chaos without protection, and everyone go nuts pretty much. That your main character have to stop the gangs from the hostile corporation from taking over and discover what really freaking happened. So if you're into this kind of third-person shooting kind of game, I mean like I'm usually really into this kind of game. Now this game looks interesting for me, and if you guys want to buy it, I definitely recommend it. From the gameplay, now I can't really tell it but from the story because I haven't played it yet, so I can't really tell about a lot of stuff. But what I see from the gameplay, you're not going to get bored. Well, at least for 1 week, you're not going to get bored. Like in an hour, you're not gonna get bored. So you guys want to play this game, just go buy it when the game is released. Okay, the very last thing that I want to mention is of course the price of a console. Now, Xbox Series X is going to on the retail is going to sell it on $500 for the console and the controller and the HDMI output. So that's what are you going to get from the 499 itself. So yeah, so I guess that's all I want to talk about the Xbox Series X. I really hope this information is very useful for you guys. Oh yeah, but also I almost forgot that you guys might want to check out this guy's video, Gamer Ranks and the Gamer. They also make the video like this, so if you guys want to sit like right here. So okay, I guess that's it. So bye bye.